Acoustic Shoppe channel. This is John and Jeremy here.
This is Jeremy.
Well,
This is John.
I mean, we are John and Jeremy, and we're here to talk about the new Eastman PCH3 series. Welcome back. We're here today to talk a little bit about the new PCH3 series, which is different than the 1 and the 2.
That makes sense.
But before we get into all that stuff, I do want to encourage you guys to give us a like. It will sure help us out to make sure we can continue to do these videos. And
it helps me feel good about myself, too.
Jeremy needs
I check my phone every few minutes. Somebody else liked me.
And also, as normal, at the end of this, we'll talk a little bit about these guitars, and then at the end of this, we will have a little bit of a tone demonstration, so you can hear a little bit of what the guitar sounds like all by itself.
So you can skip the talk and go straight to the sound samples.
You can do
that.
But
for the rest of you that are interested in what makes the Series 3 guitars, let's talk about that.
Let's do that. So the PCH series came out about, about 4 years ago now, I think?
4.
I was really skeptical of this, and those of you who know the Acoustic Shoppe know we've been involved with Eastman pretty heavily from the beginning.
Before our beginning.
Yeah, we were
endorsed artists before.
Yeah, and
we opened the shop, and then the first line we brought on was the Eastman guitar line.
And it's been a lot of fun. It's given me the opportunity, and you the opportunity, to work with them on projects. We've done some designs. We've done all kinds of really cool things with them, and now we get to see a lot of things before almost everybody else does. So that's really, really cool. But when they came out with the PCH series, I was really skeptical because they had done so well at building up their standard E series and also their upper end guitars and mandolins, and I was really doubtful that they should get into the marketplace of a $300 price point guitar.
Well, kind of people that are familiar with Eastman know the history that Chen, he was a salesman for cheap, inexpensive Chinese violins, and that's why he started the company. He said, I personally know some very skilled luthiers back in China. We can build better instruments than these. And it took him a while to get over that stigma that Chinese built meant a cheap or poorly built instrument. So they really built that reputation as a very good quality instrument built in China, but with the skilled luthiers that you can't
and
just
high-end parts as well. You know, the woods and selection were coming from the same exact distributors and suppliers as all the big boys were using. So when they did this, I was like, guys, I really think you shouldn't do that. Then the first one showed up, and I have to say I was absolutely wrong, and I have told everybody, I have admitted it.
Which is
I don't
very rare.
do that very often, but I did. I admitted the PCH series has become one of my favorites, and it is the standard I put every other guitar at for a beginning instrument. These are the first ones that are very affordable, very well built, and extremely playable. Every one of them out of the box is a guitar that I would hand to anybody and feel like they could succeed with. So the PCH Series 1 came out, laminated sapele, or mahogany actually, sides and back, with an open pore finish. Well, originally it wasn't, but now is an open pore finish, solid spruce top. Then came the Series 2. And 3, and those came out introduced at NAMM last year. The 2 was a rosewood sides and back, still laminate, and then the 3, which gave us this gorgeous gloss with a laminate maple sides and back. And unlike the Series 2 and 1, the GACE was the only thing that was going to come out in those guitars, which is the Grand Auditorium body with a cutaway and electronics. So again, cool upgrades. People were asking, does the laminate make a difference in the tone? Absolutely, it does exactly what it would do with the solid variations. Maybe not as much, but it definitely does impart those characters.
So the question you were asking was the different type of wood in a laminate make as big a difference as a solid maple or mahogany
or rosewood. And it does. The rosewood ones definitely have more depth, more of that, quote, scooped tone that rosewood has, and the maple, a brighter, crisper type of feel. So definitely worth doing right there. And I think it was smart for the Series 3 PCH3 to have a gloss finish, because I think that really shows off the maple and the flamed characteristics of
We've
that.
talked about the ability of Eastman to come up with some gorgeous maple, like on the mandolins and violins, and then guitars. We've had some of the big blonde jumbos in. That is just gorgeous flamed maple. Same thing here. This striping on that is just beautiful, and that on a laminate guitar, that is an affordable price point for people getting into not only a very good sounding and playable guitar, but just a
good
beautiful
looking
guitar.
Absolutely. And normally these come in 2 different color variants. They have their classic finish, which is pretty well standard across the Eastman look. It's a stain color
tobacco.
that they've really kind of mastered and is really popular in all their instruments, mandolins, guitars, everything. So they call that their classic color. And then they introduced the trans black. And here's the deal, guys. Even if you're not a black guitar person, there's a lot of black guitar people. I not been a huge fan of most of the black guitars. I know they look cool. There's a cool factor, but it's usually a pretty thick paint that just takes away all the wood character and doesn't show off what it can be. So I was really thrilled with Eastman for doing a trans black, which gives you all the wood character. You can see the grain in all of this. It almost gives a blue hue to it, but it is black. And that maple just shows up well all the way through the neck and that finish. And again, this is the only one of the PCH series that has a full high gloss finish on it. Also still keeps that really nice rosette, which again, a really classy thing to add on. It's not a sticker. It's not, a lot of people when they do this, they put that little sticker decal
like hologram
in there.
Looking.
Yeah, hologram pearl. This is actually inlaid, and it does have that abalone
bone
rosette.
nut and saddle on this.
Absolutely.
And still the lifetime warranty that Eastman has been known to be very proactive about taking care of their guitar owners. On the rare occasions that there's an issue, we haven't had any problems getting them taken care of.
No.
The cutaways always come with the electronics.
That's right. Anytime you see an Eastman guitar that has a cutaway, it will have electronics. And in this case, it is a Fishman Sonotone pickup that has a control on the inside of the sound hole. So you do have a volume and a tone control. And again, a good basic pickup. You can gig with this guitar straight out of the box. Definitely a good sounding unit and something that you will grow with. A question that is asked of me a lot of times with the PCH series is, is this the guitar I buy and in a year I feel like I need another one? I don't think you need another one. I think you will want to upgrade to a better toned guitar. But the cool thing about this is it's not something that you'll feel that you need to get rid of the old guitar.
And most people we have that have upgraded, they want to still keep this one because the guitar they can take when they're going out camping or leave in their living room with kids and not worry about. Obviously, you don't want anything to happen to it, but you're less heartbroken if something does when it's in this price point. But it's still something you want to pick up and play.
That's right. And that's kind of been the Eastman series across the board. It's always been really good about giving you so much value for your money that even if you decide you're going to go into another level of guitar, you don't feel like you have to get rid of the old one. And that's been a point of contention with my wife, who now has to deal with so many guitars sitting around the house because I won't get rid of any of them.
And as many of these as we have sold in our shop, I think we may have had 2 that we have been able to sell used when people trade them in. So we rarely get these in used because people just hold on to them or pass them on to a friend or family member if for some reason they move on to a different guitar. I've been blown away with them, just like I said. And then another thing, when they first came out, they were just the guitar to keep in that price point, no case included. Recently, they've upgraded to a gig bag, and actually very nice gig bag.
Very welcome addition. We've actually they've got a PCH bag, and it used to be at an expense. I believe we used to sell them for $45 or $49 as an add-on, and this year they decided to include that. So for right now, all the PCH guitars are coming with that bag.
And it has
a neck support.
It's not just like a bag like some of the really cheap gig bags you see.
It
has
padded.
At least an inch of padding. The neck support, like I said, really well built gig bag to go along with it, which that's a huge selling point when you're buying your first guitar. You're going back and forth for lessons. you need to have a case, and the fact that now this comes with a very nice one is a big upgrade.
And like I said, neck support has backpack straps. Really, definitely a worthwhile add-on. Thank you guys at Eastman for listening and adding that to it. A couple of the main specs to know about this particular one, and we'll mention real quick, Jeremy is also holding a PCH3, one of the limited editions. There was a few of them that were built in dreads and others, and this one is one of the Koa back and sides. So it is a Koa back and sides, same overall specs, but
and a dreadnought.
And they did it in Cocobolo, and they also built a dreadnought, a very limited amount in maple. So those were really cool if you end up seeing one of those. Grab them up while you can, because as far as I know, there won't be any others. So a couple of the specs to kind of talk about real quick. The PCH3 GACE will give you a 1 3/4 nut width, which is very comfortable. I will say that the neck profile on all the PCHs tends to be a lot smaller than what their standard series, especially their E series, tends to be. So very, very comfortable to play. It is a solid spruce top with the laminated back and sides. In this case, the PCH3 will give you the maple back and sides, rosewood fretboard, and rosewood bridge. And again, I think that's going to stick around for quite a while as an add-on. Bone nut and saddle. This is actually an abalone rosette with the abalone dots, giving you that just a little bit more class for what you're going to pay
price
for.
range is something you rarely find.
Absolutely. Good quality sealed tuners on this. Great finish. Just like I said, with the padded gig bag, I don't think you're going to miss out. And with the Fishman pickup, you're ready to go out and play. If you're joining a worship team or something like that, you're ready to get out there and go right out of the box. So nothing to worry about there. And again, all set up and run correctly and play just excellent. And with every guitar that we have here in the shop, this is one thing that that I want to kind of bring up. A lot of shops talk about doing their setups and making sure everything's set up. Anybody who carries Eastman knows that you don't really need to have a crazy overall setup. There's a lot of affordable guitars out there that need to be put on a bench for 3 or 4 hours.
You almost have to add to the price just for the time your shop's going to spend getting it up to sellable condition.
So here's the deal. We always go through every guitar that we ever sell, whether it's online or whether it's in here, and before it leaves the shop, it is always within spec of what the manufacturer originally created it to be, which is what we usually think is, what they want it to be. So these are set up extremely well for the beginner as well as the professional level player. And nothing to mess with.
I encourage you, if you haven't seen the video we did, we went to Pomona to the Eastman warehouse and factory out there, and that's where they do when the guitars arrive in the States, they do full setups on every instrument they get through there. They have multiple luthiers working on those, filing frets, getting them set up to perfect playing condition before they send them to the dealers. Check out that video. We'll have a link down below where you can do that. Yep. The guys here did a great job putting together that kind of informative Eastman video, but it kind of shows the work they put in when they first get the guitars in, and then they send them to us. We go through them again, but it's like I said, it's nothing like some of the other inexpensive brands where there's a lot of flaws and issues, quality control. They go through there before they ship them to us to make sure they are ready to sell.
Like I said, it's not like we look at it and just go, oh, it's an Eastman, it's good enough. We'll always make sure every guitar that comes out of our shop is to spec. But the beauty is every Eastman guitar that we have ever had has been well set up and ready to play right out of the box because they are putting that extra work in Pomona as well as when it even comes over. So thank you guys at Eastman for making our job so much easier. We do appreciate that. And again, great guitar. I really do highly recommend the PCH series. If you're looking for an affordable guitar, this is probably the one that I would go at. And if I were needing a black guitar, this is it. You can't. This is classy.
That's pretty nice.
This is what you want. So again, PCH3 GACE in the trans black or TBK, I believe, finish. Check that out.